Now. So now, children. What is now? Now is the only time there really is, and now is a new optimal world, a world that works better forever for everyone. So how do you create a world that works better forever for everyone is the question. We live inside that question. I've been doing it for 50 years plus. You might be doing it more or less than that. But at some level, subconsciously, consciously, unconsciously, chromatically, or superconsciously, you're inquiring into something. And if you inquire into how would we collaborate and cooperate creatively and consciously to create a world that's better forever for everyone, some of us who've been inside that question longer have come up with some very useful, relevant, timely, and interesting and valuable information and thoughts, words, and deeds that we've been taking. And we're inviting you to take some new thoughts, give you food for thought, some new words, new communication with yourself on the inner and others on the outer, and new actions that you might choose in the world to at least play with, if not master. Okay? So how do you and why do you create a new optimal world? Does everybody want a new optimal world? Do we want an Armageddon and blow ourselves up and kill 98% of the species because we're in the Bilderberger group or whatever it is, and the rest are left because the others built all this stuff, and some aliens come down and eat the old ones or whatever? There are lots of stories. There's lots of stuff in the world, and stories about the stuff. You were born into a world which already had this pre-existing. You were born into the listening of your parents and grandparents and the community. So they started with, you're going to have kids, you're going to have kids, you're going to have kids when they're talking to your parents or grandparents. Eventually they say, yeah, okay, we're going to have one. And we think it's going to be a boy, I think it's going to be a girl, we think it's going to be born on this day. So you start as a conversation internally with your mum and dad, then externally between your mum and dad, then externally between your mum and dad and others in the community. And the story that you are, Richard Roller, spreads throughout the community, and if it was efficient and effective, it spread throughout the world. Richard Roller is coming, Richard Roller is coming, Richard Roller is coming, and whatever label they place on you, it's not usually stamped on your forehead or on your chest or anything unless they tattoo it to you somewhere. But you, the brand, or you, the name, or you, the label, or you, the logo, or you, the icon, gets created as conversation first. It's a set of conversations, a network of conversations, and then some actions your mum and dad took. You probably don't need to know about that. You've had the birds and bees conversation. Created the physical you from the metaphysical you.
Okay.
So everything goes through that sequence. It goes from an idea, a concept, or a metaphysical form into a more and more focused and physical form. And then at a certain point, it transfigures, transforms, or transcends. So these are options you have further down the road. You'll notice that most babies start small and they grow bigger. And at a certain point, you start growing physically taller and bigger. But you might grow bigger that way, like I have. But you don't stop growing metaphysically. In other words, you can never learn less. And so what we've developed is a program that will recalibrate systems, starting with economics, re-educate people, starting with people who opt in to newoptimalworld.me, opt in there, or opt in at LimitLessNOW.com, or opt in through one of our other numbers of portals. Okay? And we have lots of them. I'm going to speak to each portal so you understand. If you come in through this door, you're a Capricorn. If you come through this door, you're a Pisces. If you come in through this door, you're a Leo. Come through this door, you're a Ram, or a, what is that? Gemini. And you're a Taurus, right?
Pisces.
You're a Pisces and you're a Gemini, and I'm a Leo. Okay? Now Leo, out of the 12 signs of the zodiac, is the sun. And if you think about the sun, it's the thing around which everything else rotates. So they tend to be leaders. I'm not just a Leo, I'm not just a double Leo in Western astrology or triple Leo in Eastern astrology. I'm here to lead in a certain way, which has what we call islands of integrity. My technology is called Integrity Technologies. It is a methodology for restoring your individual and collective integrity as a species, ultimately. But let's start with you and me. We're here, we're talking, we're capturing on video. Anybody can watch this after we put it up. And hopefully there'll be 7 billion people watch it, translate it, interpret it, and do various things with it over the next 5 to 10 years. We call this the decade that made the difference because we're going to turn around our entire species to look at themselves as the source of their experience and their reality. Instead of out there's something wrong, something needs fixing, something's broken. Okay? Looking inside, and how we actually develop collaboration, cooperation, and communication instead of shooting and killing and lying and cheating and stealing and weaponry and killing and war, which is the largest business on the planet in the past. In the future, the largest business on the planet is networking. Said another way, moving from the scarcity model, which has the behavior of hoarding and comes from the thought form, either me or you. So I have to divide and conquer. I have to keep separate. I have to get mine and take yours. You know, that's a mindset that's based on a false concept, an inaccurate, incomplete comprehension of the way the cosmos works, and based on scarcity, which was deepened by the stories that Darwin told, which were basically survival of the fittest, implying competition. Other people like Lamarck discovered that it's actually elimination of the weakest, which implies cooperation, which implies sharing instead of hoarding as a behavior. Now, if I share my ice cream with you, from one point of view, I've got less ice cream because I gave you some of it. If I share my money with you, from some points of view, I've got less and you took some. Okay? From another point of view, I can say if I share my girlfriend or my wife with you, I've got less than my wife, but I've got more of something else. The glass is half full and half empty. It's not either or. It's half full of air and half full of water, or whatever the liquid is. You with me? Yeah. So you've got to start to be able to see things from multiple points of view. If you come and do our trainings, which are for free, then for a fee, then as a VIP, these trainings as a member, then a mentor, then a master, then a mover, like a mover and a shaker, and then a movement leader. So a movement leader is a facilitator and an ambassador eventually, and a leader that goes out and opens new cities and countries, which is the highest paid profession in the world. The President of the United States earns less than $500,000 a year, plus perks. Now his perks are Air Force One and the White House, but they're perks. When he loses his job, he loses the perks. But he gets different perks after he's been a president because people relate to him differently afterwards. So now I'm going to say something quite profound. The sign of a mind's conscious evolution is its capacity to hold two or more than two opposing points of view simultaneously while sustaining the capacity to function. I'm going to say that again for those of you watching and haven't pressed pause and rewind. The sign of a mind's conscious evolution, the sign of its growth and development, is its ability to hold two or more opposing points of view at the same time, simultaneously, while sustaining the capacity to still function. Okay? So I want you to look at this side of my hand, no hair, this side of my hand, hair. You can see that. I don't know whether the camera can actually get this hair. You see, I'm a hairy man. And then if you look at this, you can look at my hand from this angle, and you can see different permutations and configurations of what a hand is. If you could look from inside my hand, you'd see it differently too. So there's billions and trillions, zillions of different ways of looking at anything. Looking at a business, a bank, a government, a relationship, a person, a place, a thing, the physical, metaphysical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the financial, the sexual, sensual, intimate dynamics and relations of life. There's infinite ways of looking at it. So you can say this is my viewpoint, my point of view, and you might keep it as a fixed point of view. That doesn't limit the earth just as you relate to it like it's flat. It limits your relationship with the earth that you relate to it like it's flat. The earth is the way the earth is, and then your limited point of view keeps you stuck in just this orientation. It's like you're frozen in time. You're still in the 80s, and you're already in 2011, you know. And people tend to freeze up as they grow older. They get stuck in something or stuck with someone. Okay? If you were given the space in our new culture, our future culture, a new optimal world culture, a new optimal world style of living and community of living, where there was no disease, where disease, lack of ease, was handled and healed and cleared, and we didn't get sick, and we could play with anybody, anywhere, anytime, you know, on any terms and conditions we wanted. We could actually follow the energy of the moment rather than try to conform with some pattern of what we should and shouldn't say and do and be. Okay? Amazing. So they're just setting up the DJ for tonight. So I'll complete the segment by saying, please feel free to opt in at Limitless. So what I'm saying is, just so you can see, every single moment of life, you are choosing to choose what is and accept what is, or you're choosing not to. When you choose what is and accept what is, you're at peace. You're choosing peace, which choose what is. The moment you give up that choice and choose anything other than that, you wish you or something or someone, past, present, or future, was more or better or different, you've actually created stress in yourself and in the space. You've created an environment of dis-ease, of lack of ease, of lack of grace, of lack of joy. You with me?
Yeah.
Dis-ease is a lack of ease. So what we've developed is a methodology to stay in the sacred space between the thoughts, between the feelings, and between the relations of life. Not just relations with people and places and things and money and food and sex and time and banks and businesses and governments. So we've figured out an education program that takes you soup to nuts, dream to done, A to Z, through a set of experiential learnings, or said more accurately, unlearnings, so you can be more present with yourself and other people. Be true to yourself by knowing yourself more and more deeply and clearly and authentically, and being able to fully self-express yourself and be more effective at human relations and other relations. Because everything is relationship. If I asked you food, sex, time, money, and relationship, pick one. Which one would you like to have a breakthrough in?
Sex.
Sex, okay? Come to the next video, because we're going to stop now. The next video is about sex.